What up, gamers? It's your boy Max, and I'm coming at you hot for the 5th time to try and make this video. So, to start with announcements, your boy just got Neuroprosthetics, a whopping 13K. So that's going to be going towards just about every part of Neuroprosthetics. So that means that we're going to have a lot more stuff to play with throughout the next semester and following. And that was through Optimize, which is a funding organization through the university. So, pretty cool stuff. In exchange, I'll be working on Neuroprosthetics over the summer in order to actually do this. It's also probably better that I'm doing this video not at 2 a.m. in the morning. I do have to make this video 15 minutes or less because YouTube is getting very anal. Unless I want to upload it to my old middle school gaming account, I can't make it more than 15 minutes. Because YouTube is down, there's a bunch of issues, but that's besides the point. So we're going to be going over a few things in this video. So the first one is the current algorithm. I'm actually going to do this in text because this becomes a nightmare otherwise. So the current algorithm. And two, oops, well, it's a lost cause. The current algorithm, the potential double flex algorithm, and then after that we're going to be going to this kind of branch of neuroprosthetics going forward, and this includes projects and all that. So that's kind of the outline of the video. Let's get into it. So currently we have to where individuals can select through a series of flexes in order to get various responses. So they will start with an open hand potentially. I'll paste that in here. Specialty. So they'll start with an open hand, and then if they flex once more, then they will get, I believe, a kind of pointing motion. I kind of forget, it's been a while. And if they flex further, then they will get a closed hand, or fist if you will, and that's for grabbing objects. And then if they flex once more, they will get kind of the OK sign, and after that if they flex again, of course they will be returned to the open hand. So I'm doing this in MS Paint for the meme. I don't usually use this, but I've gotten a little bit familiar with it. So obviously the two easiest and the two most frequent are going to be like the open hand and the fist. So we're going to want to make that a single flex. And so these other two are going to be for double flex. So if you just single flex, it will switch between those two. So I'm going to go ahead and move this to the bottom because we'll use it later. So in calibration currently, what we have it as doing is we'll have a light flash, and so I'm going to denote this as purple because I'm going to do the signal in blue. It's actually a, oops, that's an N. It's actually a blue light that flashes, but this will flash 3 times and then hold. And so that will prompt the user to flex a bunch, and so they'll do some mad flexes and try and see what their peak is for this. And so after they flex a bunch, then the light will turn off, and then after a little while it will prompt them again to keep, or to just wiggle their arm around. And so you're gonna get, that's not gonna happen here, but you're gonna get all kinds of crazy and unpredictable motion. But this is basically just determined noise, because if you're grabbing an object, chances are you're moving your arm around, because you're not going to be just picking up a ball or dropping it. That's very unlikely in the grand scheme of things. And so it's going to set your max for both of these. So the first maximum is going to be here, so that's your flex max. Oops. And then the second maximum is going to be around here, and this is going to be your, let me circle this. This is going to be your moving max. Right, can't really do eyes, or dots for eyes. That's alright. So we take these two and we combine them and take the minimum. So, oh, that's an orange still. Oh my. I might end up just speeding up this recording, in which case, obviously, do it at a lower speed. So, we're going to take these two and take, I said, the minimum. And try to do the eye. And so, bring those two in. And this is going to be multiplied by 0. Can you do point, please? Hello? Let's pretend it's there. So this is going to be multiplied by 0.8. Let me do this. And that's to ensure that they can actually get the flex, because if this is their absolute maximum, so they're not going to be able to reach that very easily. It's going to be a little bit hard. So it's going to take these two in and take the minimum of the two. Because also, if you have some crazy flexes, like let's say we continue this a little bit further, and you got a flex around here, which was at or above the 0.8 mark, this is going to also make it extremely difficult to actually reach this level. So we don't want that, potentially. This is a little scale, by the way. So we're going to take that, and that's kind of how the current algorithm works. And every time that you're above this moving, or the minimum of these two, which is most times going to be the moving average here, or moving maximum, then you're going to be able to actually flex. So pretty cool. So that is our current setup. Moving forward, we're going to want to be doing something a little bit more complex. Now, let me scroll down here. So we'll give this up a little bit more room, keeping this single flex in the window. So some people have suggested doing a held flex, and so if we were to do that, it would look something like this, which is a little bit nightmarish, because a lot of times it won't look that clean, and it could be something more like this. And this is very indistinguishable from, as said, moving your arm around while flexing. So I can't tell whether or not this is a single or double flex, and it's even harder for a computer with only 1 kilobyte of memory to do the same. So instead of doing this, we'll clear this out. We have proposed double flex, and so that would include within a short interval flexing twice. And so the issue is that this is around an interval of 0.3 seconds potentially, although it can extend anywhere from 0.3 to somewhere closer to 0.2 or 0.4 even. So this is, I'll denote these with text. Let's use black. So this being 0.3 seconds, or 300 milliseconds, and this being 0.2 to 0.4 seconds. Let's center this over here a little bit. Cool. So that's a big issue, because if we continue the signal out a little bit further, as you will see here, go back to brushes. This is, if we pan this up, I'm going to use pink, because why not? So here, if we continue this up, we're going to get around here. And so this is by far below the threshold. And so if we set our threshold over here to be around this, then that's kind of a bad situation. So, not good. And same thing goes with 0.2. If we have it at 0.2, it's going to be much below it around here. So you're going to neither get a signal from either of these. And I've tested it myself quite a few times, and I don't consistently get 0.3 or 0.2 or 0.4. Kind of varies. And obviously, with more practice, you can hone it in, but it's a fairly short time span, so it takes a lot more practice than is optimal for learning something like this. And if you don't have good reaction time, then it becomes even more tricky, because human reaction time is about 3 times this difference. So it's around or I believe it's 30 milliseconds for the average person. So I'll put this over here. So what we're going to actually want to be doing is having to where it's around 0.25 milliseconds, potentially. And so that means that we're going to be taking it around here. And so that would look like having this value around here. So after taking the value first and saying, oh yeah, this is above the threshold, okay, cool. Let me wait for a little while, and then it's going to check to see. While it's increasing, just kind of wait, and while it stops decreasing, right up here, take that value. And is this above the threshold? Yes, no. So for this, it's going to be. So you might say, Max, this sounds like a very, very bad idea, because what if you have a signal that's like this, which you likely will, unfortunately, because there's just a lot of noise in the system. So there's two solutions to that we've come across. First of which being kind of smoothing the signal out and taking them in samples of 4. And so you can take it from any number. I've used a power of 2 because division is a nightmare a little bit, especially on Arduinos, which are not as robust as your current processor. So 2, 4, 8, 16, or 32. If you go any more than that, then it's going to get really janky, because you only have 1024 bytes, and each integer is 4 bytes. And I wouldn't suggest using integers, but either way you cut it, you have to use a value. I would suggest personally using shorts, because it's going to be greater than 256, which is a character. Secretly, as you might know, are just 1 byte integers. Everything is just a number secretly. And so I would suggest using shorts, or otherwise just you could represent them as 16-bit integers. So yeah, they work a little bit differently, but you don't really have to worry about that. So that's how many samples you're going to want to take, and if you do that, then you get a more smoothed out signal. So that's going to look a little bit like this. But either way, it's monotonic, and so you don't have to worry about it potentially decreasing as much. It's going to be a very rare occasion. And so the other thing that we're going to be doing is implementing an amplifier, and so those are about 20 bucks. And so we're going to test with that a little bit more and see how that smooths out the filter. It was suggested by some forums that I was reading for the actual sensor that we have. Because if you connect to a computer, you're going to get even more noise from the computer itself. Because it's 1, varying in power, and 2, it just has noise associated with it, mechanical noise. So those are 2 solutions that we've kind of been working on. So if it's a single flex, then you're going to have a signal that looks something like this, where around 0.25 seconds later, you're going to have an uptick, and it's going to leave that and see what the maximum value is. Here, as we see, it is not above the threshold around here. So that is considered a single flex, and it will then correspondingly go back and forth between these. So that's going to be what we're doing moving forward, improving upon this. Yes, I added this here. And actually implementing this. From that, in the next few weeks, we're going to then be doing something more like hardware, where it's 2 to 3 people per project team, and it's going to be, in my opinion, a lot more interesting. And we're going to be working on the app that someone has suggested, Darren specifically, and potentially a user interface, Bluetooth, things like that. So hopefully y'all stay safe. I'll see y'all later. Bye.